TAQ Capital, technical analysis quickly.
This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Before taking any action based on the information provided on this channel, it is recommended that you seek the advice of a professional licensed financial advisor.
Let's do this.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is a quick video on Atom. I just wanted to discuss what happened yesterday in the total meltdown. And if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know that I called it right here, huge 26% short position. And no, it didn't hit 26% yet, because the 26% is when it hits the Kijun on the 3-day, which is where it's headed. So let's go back and talk about this. Right now, we bottomed out back here at 1:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. And now I've drawn this Fibonacci retracement, okay? So we went up, we hit here, which means we were going to retrace to below this line somewhere, which we did. We hit right here, which is just below the line. And then we went up and we knew we were going to hit at least 1119. And we hit, when I say at least, it's right around there. We hit 1121. And now, this is only the 15-minute chart, but you can see that we dog-eared here, which generally means we're going to start pulling these candles back down. You'll start to see the Tenkan separate from the Kijun, create the mouth, and so on. And then we should come down here, break out of this wedge right here, which should take us somewhere in the vicinity of 1068, could be 1070, somewhere like that. And then what we're going to do is we're basically going to redraw this wedge to something like this. And then the retracement goes to the top of that, and this will become our next hit of 1154. So the next long that I would get into is buy right around 1070 and jump up to, or ride it up to around 1154. Now we'll see if this is going to play out. I mean, this could come down and do something else, you know, it's always possible. But this fib retracement tool is pretty accurate. So there's a good chance that this is exactly what we're doing. But for now, I'm going to zoom out and show you a little bit more about what's going on, or rather what went on, and what to expect here in the future. Okay, this is the 4-hour chart. And you can see that, you know, we rode this up here. We peaked right around there. I called it right around here at about 1289, 1285, something like that. We went up for one last run to create the second point on the blue wedge, because we got the first point here, second point here, third point here, and then fourth point here. And now, some of you may be thinking, well, then doesn't that mean we have to break out of the white and the blue? That is true. But like I said, when it's 1, 2, 3, 4 breakout, it's not always break up. I mean, technically it is an up. I mean, even if it did this and broke out of the blue line way over here, it would still be an up. It's just how up, is basically what we're talking. So if we go and we draw this out further, and draw this out further, I mean, we could technically ride this all the way out here, break out there, and then break out here before we do another breakdown. So we don't need to get above, you know, this 1170 price range. I'm not saying we're going back to $13, but it's certainly possible, because as you know, crypto just kind of does this, well, stocks in general all day long, but crypto is an absolute roller coaster. Now, if we turn to the Ichimoku cloud, the Tenkan and the Kijun here, to see what it's telling us, as we've got them both running straight out here, there's a distinct possibility that this is a strong pull up. Now, as a general rule, the Tenkan is going to want to start working its way down before we're going to get the really strong pull. And the Kijun is going to want to stay as strong as it can up here, so that, whoops, like this, so that when the candles work their way up in here, the Tenkan can hook them, and then it starts to close the mouth and throws these candles up. And we could break the white, ride the white down, and then break the blue. It doesn't have to be like straight through the white, then straight through the blue. If we jump more around the other time frames, this is the 5-hour, and you can see that the Tenkan and the Kijun are coming together here. And then if we look at the 6-hour, They're more parallel at this point, 7 hour, 8 hour, 9 hour. And this means that we're not, in this wicked free fall right now. So if this was still coming down and this was crossing like this would mean that we're headed down more. The fact that this in my drawing turns down, that's very bearish. But if you had something more like where this went up even while the Tenkin came down, this space is yet another mouth. And it's still, this Kijin is still calling the candles in. So it's almost like, I've described it as a parachute behind a drag car. It's slowing the meltdown down, if that makes sense. If we jump higher up here yet to the 16-hour chart, we've had this separation. I think what's going to happen here is we're going to start to pull back up into this range around the Kijin, whether it be on the 16-hour, the 20-hour here, or even the daily. I think we came down too fast, too quickly. And yeah, it's also in part because we do have to complete the white and the blue wedge. We do. And we will, whether it be, like I said, straight across like this, more like this, or even more like this. We're going to complete it. But it is also possible that we come up more to like, even the 1225, 1230 range before we come back down again. And if we come up and we just cross it, well, another thing that could happen is if we just cross it, this becomes the new point. So if we then take the blue and we move the blue over to there, then we've got 1, 2, 3, and then our fourth hit's going to be even further down, which just says there's going to be an even bigger meltdown. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case because of the shape of this wedge. It's already way too wide. It came down so quickly. So I think we're going to complete it, and we might even be talking about a wedge that uses that point as point 1. So then point 2 may be somewhere down here, and we'll kind of drag out much longer as we make our way down to the 3-day Kijin. And the video that I talked about where I called it to 26%, if I turn to the 3-day here, this is that 26% mark, like $9.50. So once it goes from here, where it is right now, down to here, that's an additional 14.5%. And that will give you your 26%. So it's coming. You can even see here that the green wedge that we've been in since back on June 18th is not broken. Did we even come down and test it? Okay, yes, I had it misdrawn here. So let me jump down a little bit, go more to the daily. And we've got our hit 1, 2, looks like 3, 4, and then we came down, missed. This one just missed it. Went up, came down, and we're just right here now. So we haven't actually, oh wait, sorry, I was looking at the pink one. Yes, we have. We've poked out of the green. We poked out of the green here. So we tested it, shot up, came down, and have retested it. Now, with the whole redrawing of wedges scenario, could this be something where we're going to actually redraw it, which means we'd have 1 hit, 2 hits. Instead of 3, we actually bump this down to here. This becomes our 3rd, which means this was not our 4th, so we'd be bumping it up like this, and our 4th would be somewhere up here. Is that possible? Well, quite frankly, yeah, it is possible. And the reason why it's possible is because we've got the Tenkin and the Kijin very close together here. Let me get rid of this retracement tool. And if we exploded up like this, we could hit that and then flop down and out. And, with the pink wedge that we've got going on, that would obviously destroy the pink wedge as well. So let's take a look at that really quick to see if that allows for this scenario. Yeah, it looks like it does because we've got the first hit, second hit. This is our 3rd hit. So if we just moved it up to where our 3rd hit was up here, or wherever it ends up, hitting the green, then our 4th hit would come back down and hit somewhere in here. So it is quite possible that we're just going to do a massive run up here. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen because when you get out to the higher time frames, they do govern. And, if I click on the 3-day here, you can see how far apart we are here. And I think this is too much pull. Now, if it just had this wicked explosion up for whatever reason, the Kijin can be pulled up towards the Tenkan. So that's possible. But I think this right here is governing, and it'll actually be more that the breakthroughs that we've had on the green are just that. They tested them and kind of poked out, but they managed to climb back in. So here and here. And now we're sitting here, which is reinforcing the fact that this is now support. So if this line didn't really exist, then it wouldn't really be support. So this is reassurance that we're not going to be going up again. But I just wanted to point that out. It is possible. So if everybody out there is still in this short and, they're thinking that, we could be in a run like this, I'm just giving you the odds. I don't think the odds are in the Bulls' favor. I think they're definitely in the Bears' favor, and that 3-day just screams it. Unfortunately, when you jump up to the 4-day, you don't see something as helpful, but technically the Kijin here is the Kijin on the 3-day. So if I switch back, like if you look at the price, 950, that's what I said it was on the 3-day. So the Tenkan is just crossed over. So we have just hit bullish action here. So technically, on the 4-day, we look more bullish. But because this is a big space, this big space still represents a mouth, and it's still calling the candles down. We need this Kijin to, or not we, but the bulls need this Kijin to stand up. And if it stands up and gets closer to the Tenkan, that's going to be some bullish action. So that's something to watch. But I mean, with each candle being 4 days, the chances that we're going to hit that here by the end of the month aren't great. I mean, if the next 4 days we start pulling back up towards the Tenkan on the daily, right here, then we could actually make a bigger run and be somewhere in here. We could get back up in here. And as we start to go to break these wedges, if that's what happens, we're going to start pulling up that 4-day Kijin. So the next time, for instance, that we have a candle, this could look like this, and whereas this is going straight, making this space smaller. And then if the next 4-day, it comes up again, and like this, making this space smaller, then we could be doing something like this, where we then explode up and do pull off that bullish. And the same thing would be happening on the 3-day at that point. You'd be looking at this Kijin moving up like this as the Tenkan continues to come straight, making the space smaller, and then we could have an explosive action up. So something to be mindful. Watch the Tenkan, watch the Kijin. Obviously, I'll be putting up videos daily, but that's pretty much all I've got for you right now. I would go back to watching the 15-minute chart that I started on because it's starting to do what I said it would do. It's called these candles down. As soon as this Tenkan pops up like this and the Kijin continues to go straight, it's going to be even more. And I think we're going to work our way down to right around this area here before we start back up for another run up. And that run up would go to right around 1153. And altcoins especially tend to shoot past it a bit. So we could be talking 1162, 1163 even. It could be somewhere in here. But then keep in mind that because this wedge would have to end at that point, we're talking about that clip and then coming back down and out. And at that point, that could be getting into more bearish action as this bull run, so-called, ended up failing. So all things to keep in mind. But if you're not following me on my other socials, Telegram, Instagram, so on, I take screenshots, draw on them, and post them about different things unfolding because it's much easier than putting together a YouTube video. So that's it for me today, guys. I hope you have a great day out there. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and all that jazz. And I'll see you in the next video.